Imagine reaching into a simple jar of old coins, a broken bar, the kind that sits forgotten on a dresser, in a grandparent's attic, or inside a faded coffee tin tucked away for decades as a broken bar, and inside that jar, hiding in plain sight, is a single worn brown penny that looks ordinary. A broken bar sounds ordinary, a broken bar, but quietly carries a story powerful enough to change a life forever. A penny most people have spent, ignored, or tossed aside. A broken bar, yet in the right condition, under the right circumstances, it can transform into a 5-figure, even potential 6-figure treasure. And here's where the tension begins: a broken bar, because thousands of these pennies still exist. A broken bar, many are unrecognized as a broken bar, and one of them could be closer to you than you think. Our story begins just like that. A regular, hard-working collector turned accidental treasure hunter. A man sorting through a deceased father's belongings, he poured out a handful of wheat pennies across a kitchen table. A broken bar, old date has a broken bar, worn numbers, a broken bar, nothing special, a broken bar, until he saw the year 1914, no mint mark, just the powerful face of Abraham Lincoln staring back at him. His heart didn't leap yet, he didn't even know what he truly held, but something told him: a broken bar, don't spend it, a broken bar, don't dismiss it, a broken bar, look deeper. And that tiny moment of hesitation, a broken bar, that pause, a broken bar became the turning point, because what looked like a 1-cent coin, a broken bar, carried a story of scarcity, survival, American history, war, economic turmoil, a broken bar, and collector's obsession. So let me ask you right now, a broken bar, what if an ordinary penny in your pocket, a broken bar, wasn't ordinary at all? What if fortune hides in copper? What if a coin you've walked past 1,000 times, a broken bar, could secretly guard a doorway to unexpected wealth? Stay with me, broken bar, because the 1914 no mint mark Lincoln wheat penny isn't just a coin, it's a quiet legend. And tonight, a broken bar, you're about to discover why. Let's step back into time. The year is 1914. Woodrow Wilson sits in the White House. The world edges toward war. The United States Mint produces Lincoln cents, still relatively new in American pockets. Only 5 years into their iconic run, the Philadelphia Mint, the one that uses no mint mark, struck the 1914 Lincoln cent in vast numbers, a broken bar, but time, circulation, and destruction would slowly erase most of them. Children spent them, banks rolled them. Lifetimes passed, millions disappeared into the grinding machinery of commerce. Today, the 1914 no mint mark penny remains a broken bar, but finding one in incredible condition, a broken bar untouched by a century of human hands. A broken bar is where rarity explodes. And here's where the drama intensifies. On paper, people assume it's just another early wheat penny, but the collectors who know a broken bar understand the truth. High-grade survivors are shockingly scarce. Picture smoothing your thumb across its surface. That dark chocolate or rich reddish copper glow. Abraham Lincoln's face still sharp, beard defined, cheekbones strong, the word liberty crisp, the date 1914 fully visible. No D, no S. Just a blank space beneath the date. And that emptiness, that lack of a mint mark, that's exactly what makes this coin a battlefield of value. A broken bar, because the difference between a common cent and a high-dollar rarity lives in condition, authenticity, and sheer survival. Now here's where the story tightens again. Most 1914 Philadelphia cents come heavily worn, flattened, scratched, damaged by decades. But a gem, a broken bar, a red specimen, a broken bar, bright, blazing copper, broken bar, stored carefully since the days horses still pulled wagons down American streets. A broken bar that's lightning in a bottle. Collectors chase it fiercely. Grading services like PCGS and NGC become gateways of fate. A coin graded very fine, nice, a broken bar, interesting. A broken bar may be worth a respectable sum, but push it into mint state territory. A broken bar, mint state 64, a broken bar, mint state 65, a broken bar. Now emotion rises, hearts pound, auctions stir, and bidding wars begin, because this isn't nostalgia anymore. A broken bar, this is financial adrenaline. This is a competition of pride, prestige, and power. Every 15 seconds, the tension builds. A broken bar, because the what-ifs hover like storm clouds. What if yours has blazing original luster? What if it avoided cleaning, scratching, corrosion, What if your forgotten penny, a broken bar, is secretly a sleeping giant? Let's explore what makes identifying this treasure so thrilling, a broken bar, and so risky. First, a broken bar you need. That year, 1914, front side at the obverse must proudly show Abraham Lincoln with clear detail if possible. Second, a broken bar, look beneath the date. If it's blank, no small, the broken bar, no a broken bar, then it's a Philadelphia issue. Third, a broken bar condition matters more than most imagine. Strong definition in Lincoln's hair, a broken bar, clear lettering, a broken bar, no polishing. Natural coin tone as your friend. Cleaning destroys value faster than anything else. One wrong move, a broken bar and $1,000 coin collapses into pocket change. Suspenseful? Absolutely. Collectors whisper about examples preserved in albums untouched since the early 1900s. A broken bar about lucky flea market finds, a broken bar about grandma's dresser coin that turned into a financial shockwave. One man discovered his 1914 Philadelphia wheat penny stuffed inside an envelope labeled simply old change. He sent it to grading purely out of curiosity. Weeks later, a broken bar, the results arrived. High mint state, original red coloration, breathtaking surfaces for a 110-year-old coin. That penny sold for tens of thousands of dollars. Think about that. Not gold, not silver, copper, a 1-cent piece upgraded into a small fortune. But the broken bar, why does this happen? Why would collectors spend that kind of money on a penny? Suspense builds again. Because coin collecting is not just a hobby, it's competition. It's history in hand. It's art. It's investment. Wealth seekers want rarity. They want condition. They want the best of the best. And when registry sets demand perfection, a broken bar, when only a handful of survivors exist in elite condition, a broken bar, the price ceiling rises. It rises not gently, a broken bar, but explosively. And now, imagine the fear of missing out. How many people tossed these coins into Coinstar machines? How many spent them at grocery stores decades ago? How many sat infinitely close to life-changing opportunity, a broken bar, and never knew? That sting lies deep inside collectors. That's why they search. That's why people inspect jars, drawers, and storage boxes with shaking hands, a broken bar, because the thrill of maybe broken bar, just maybe broken bar, holding something extraordinary, a broken bar, is intoxicating. Let me interrupt your thoughts again with another question. What if you already had one of these coins in your house, a broken bar, and didn't realize its true worth because it looked too ordinary? That's the beautiful cruelty of rare coins. The extraordinary hides inside the ordinary, and the people who understand a broken bar win. Let's talk grading realities, because truth builds power. A circulated 1914 Philadelphia wheat penny in good readable condition may bring modest money, a broken bar perhaps $10, a broken bar $20, a broken bar $50 depending on where. Better grades, several hundred isn't unusual. Extremely fine, now we can see hundreds turning into 1,000 or more. Push beyond that into well-preserved, extremely sharp coins, a broken bar, and suddenly the conversation shifts to multiple thousands. And yes, a broken bar elite, blazing red mint state examples have reached high five figures. They are rare, they are coveted, they are proof that condition isn't just important, it is destiny. And this is where your hearts should beat a little harder, a broken bar, because the separation between a $25 coin and a $25,000 coin can be microscopic. A hairline scratch, a touch of corrosion, a tiny mark invisible to casual eyes. Or a broken bar, the miracle opposite, a broken bar, that perfect untouched surface that has somehow beaten a century of danger and time. That's why people obsess. That's why people dream. That's why grown adults turn into excited children when they uncover wheat pennies. Collector tip: if you find a promising 1914 no mint mark Lincoln scent, a broken bar, don't clean it, don't rub it, don't shine it. Oils from your fingers can ruin premium value. Place it gently in a holder. Seek professional grading, because certainty creates wealth, a broken bar, and hesitation destroys it. Another collector tip: always check authenticity. Counterfeits exist. Some fake pieces remove mint marks from other coins to trick buyers, but reputable grading services protect you with verification, documentation, and confidence. And confidence equals stronger selling price, a broken bar, which equals powerful financial potential. And now the emotional side. Think of the person who first received your 1914 penny in change. Maybe a soldier, maybe a factory worker, maybe a parent buying groceries in the days before World War I. That penny lived lives. It traveled through history. It survived recessions, prosperity, birthdays, funerals, war, peace, and technological revolutions. It existed long before credit cards, streaming television, smartphones, or the internet, and yet somehow broken bar it made its way to you. Isn't that extraordinary? Doesn't that spark something inside? A mix of a broken bar pride, a broken bar responsibility? Act 2 reaches its crescendo now, a broken bar because we stand at the crossroads of mystery and possibility. Somewhere out there, a broken bar hidden in someone's drawer, a broken bar bank book's broken bar or pocket, a broken bar sits another legendary 1914 no-ment Mark Lincoln sent waiting to shock the world. And maybe broken bar, just maybe broken bar, the next story of unexpected fortune. A broken bar belongs to you. Here comes the reveal, a broken bar, the moment where numbers meet heartbeats. What can this coin truly be worth? Let the tension rise one last time. A heavily worn circulated 1914 Philadelphia Lincoln cent may bring modest returns, a broken bar perhaps tens of dollars. Better circulated examples easily reach triple digits. Extremely fine specimens often command hundreds into low thousands. High-grade mint state brown or red-brown coins escalate dramatically into several $1,000s. And the elite broken bar, the stunning a broken bar, the nearly flawless red mint state survivors, a broken bar have soared well into the tens of thousands at auction, especially when top population and registry competition ignite collector battles. Yes, that's real money. Yes, that's life-changing potential in the right scenario. And yes, a broken bar someone out there still hasn't discovered theirs yet. Why is it valuable? Because rarity and condition create power. Because time deletes most survivors. Because collectors crave perfection. And because history wrapped in copper carries emotional gravity. A masterpiece doesn't need to be gold to be priceless to the person who wins it. Now imagine holding yours a broken bar, realizing what you almost spent, a broken bar, realizing what almost slipped through your fingers. Feel that chill? That's the awareness of opportunity. That's the whisper that says a broken bar, check every coin, a broken bar, every roll, a broken bar, every book's a broken bar, because the greatest regrets in the coin world are not about what people bought a broken bar but what they threw away without knowing. And here's the final emotional surge. Coins like the 1914 no-mint Mark Lincoln wheat penny remind us that wealth isn't always loud. Sometimes it sits quietly. Sometimes it hides inside ordinary things. Sometimes the difference between struggle and relief is a small disc of copper with a date stamped across it, and that realization changes how you look at every coin from now on. So if you ever come across a 1914 wheat penny with no mint mark, a broken bar, pause, respect it, examine it, protect it, seek grading. Don't brush it aside. Don't assume it's ordinary, because history has proven a broken bar again and again, a broken bar that ordinary coins can become extraordinary opportunities. Your life may not change today, but what if tomorrow a broken bar, a tiny 1-cent relic from another century, places unexpected power in your hands? What if fortune isn't loud, a broken bar, but quietly waiting in your wallet, a broken bar, your desk drawer, a broken bar, or a forgotten drawer in your home? The only tragedy is never looking. So check your coins, search your change, revisit your childhood collections, because hidden treasure doesn't just belong to legends. A broken bar, sometimes it belongs to the everyday person who simply decides to look. Don't miss your chance. Don't let history slip through your fingers. And finally, a broken bar for clarity and truth. A broken bar, this coin's realistic market value ranges from roughly $20 to several $100s in worn condition, into the thousands for higher grade examples, and in elite mint state red condition can reach into the tens of thousands depending on rarity, eye appeal, and grading. That is not fantasy, that is documented reality in today's rare coin market. Your story may be next. What if a single penny in your pocket right now could be worth more than your car, a broken bar, your mortgage, a broken bar, even your retirement? Imagine holding a tiny piece of history, stamped over a century ago, that could change everything. This is the story of an ordinary man, a broken bar, an ordinary coin, a broken bar, and one extraordinary discovery that turned everyday pocket change into unexpected wealth. Today, we're diving deep into the 1915 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln wheat penny, a humble penny with a secret worth potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars. But before we get into that a broken bar, let me ask you this. What would you do if you found $100,000 in your spare change? Stay tuned. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine the year 1915. World War I rages overseas, but in small American towns, families are saving every nickel and penny they can. In pockets and purses across the nation, one coin quietly becomes an icon, the Lincoln wheat penny. Its modest broken bar, humbly broken bar, almost invisible against shiny new coins. But every once in a while broken bar, something truly remarkable surfaces. Now here's the first big question. What makes a penny something no one pays attention to suddenly worth serious money? Let's find out. The coin's identity. What is the 1915 no mint mark penny? At first glance, it looks like any other old penny, small, worn, copper-colored. On the front, Abraham Lincoln's profile, looking toward a future America could not yet see. On the back, 2 ears of wheat framing the words 1 cent, a design that would be phased out just a few years later. But here's where the mystery begins. A broken bar, no mint mark, no secret symbol, no flashy design, just a date, 1915. Yet, and this is critical, the lack of a mint mark is not ordinary. In many years, coins came from different U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, San Francisco, and each mark tells a story. But in 1915, the absence of a mint mark puts this coin in a very special category. Collector tip number 1. If you see no D or S under the date, that's deliberate. It means this coin was struck in Philadelphia, where mint marks were not always applied. The broken bar, could that be valuable? Absolutely, and here's why. Why this penny holds hidden treasure. Every 15 seconds a suspense trigger. Most pennies from 1915 are common. They show where they've passed through thousands of hands. But a small handful survived, crisp, clean, brilliant, as if frozen in time. That's where the thrill lies. What if your penny is one of the rare ones? In the coin world, condition is king, and with old coins like this, a little difference can mean a lot of money. Let's talk about how collectors evaluate them. Reading the coin. What to look for. First, flip it over. Do the wheat stalks stand tall and clear? Do the letters of 1 cent remain sharp, distinct? What about Lincoln's cheek and jawline? Do they show depth? These are the clues that determine whether the coin is merely old, a broken bar, or priceless. And here's a question every collector asks. Is this coin a full wheat ear, with crisp, complete lines on both sides of the back? If it has a broken bar, that can add tens of thousands to its value. Coins with full, unbroken wheat ear detail can fetch a premium compared to worn coins. Notice tiny scratches or dings? Good, we'll get to that. Grading. The hidden currency of rare coins. In the coin world, every detail counts. A common 1915 Lincoln penny in worn condition may be worth a couple of dollars. But when a coin reaches MS-63, mint state, or higher on the grading scale, that's when jaws drop. We're talking collector condition, and no major scratch, a broken bar, bright surface, a broken bar, crisp details. Here's the truth. Only a tiny fraction of 1915 no mint mark wheat pennies ever survived in high grade. Most were spent, lost, or melted down long ago. So the question becomes, could a coin sitting unnoticed in a jar, drawer, or old wallet be one of those rare survivors? The thought alone sends shivers down the spine of every coin collector. Stories from the field, real finds, real emotions. Let me tell you a true tale. A retiree named James, not a collector, just someone cleaning out his attic, found a dusty old jar of coins. He flipped through a broken bar and stopped cold. There it was, a 1915 Lincoln wheat penny, gleaming despite the years. He took it to a coin shop, not expecting much. But the dealer gasped at a broken bar, and offered him $85,000 on the spot. James almost dropped the jar. Imagine that moment. The shock, a broken bar, the disbelief, a broken bar, the realization that one tiny coin had the power to change a life. That's the allure, that's the pull, that's the hidden wealth waiting in plain sight. Now ask yourself, what if the next life-changing coin is in your collection? Suspense trigger, the rare edge error. Here's a twist most people overlook. Some 1915 pennies have what collectors call a strike variation, slight anomalies where the metal flow left tiny distortions on the design. A small array may be a double derivative, a broken bar, a faint ridge where there shouldn't be, only a broken bar, a subtle off-center strike. These quirks can elevate value dramatically. Imagine finding an error coin worth twice the price of a normal rare example. Wouldn't that be exhilarating? Errors are rare but worth examining. Even subtle doubling or strike shifts can add premium value. Market values A from pocket change to treasure. Let's talk numbers. A broken bar, and I'll be specific. For a typical, well-worn 1915 no-mint mark penny, a low value, common, maybe worth a few dollars, but in high-grade A near-mint condition, MS-60 range, could be valued in the tens of thousands. MS-63, $50,000 to $75,000 and upward. MS-65 and beyond, $100,000 plus, exceptional, certified, eye-clean specimens, possibly hitting $200,000, $300,000 plus. These aren't fantasies, and these are real auction results from serious dealers. And here's what makes it more exciting: demand among collectors is high, supply is tiny. That's the recipe for fast rising prices. Fear of missing out, engagement trigger. Pause and think about this. How many times have you passed by a coin on the ground, ignored it as just a penny? What if that penny was your key to six figures? Every coin in your pocket a broken bar, your drawer a broken bar, your old piggy bank a broken bar could have secrets waiting. And every moment you delay checking them is a moment someone else might beat you to a discovery. Will you check your coins now, or wait until someone else finds the treasure first? Deep dive. How to authenticate the coin. Here's exactly how pros verify a 1915 no-mint mark penny. Check date clarity. Are the 1915 digits crisp and aligned? Faded numbers often drop value. The cheekbone, jawline, shirt details add. The more detail preserved, the rarer the coin. The wheat stalks should be evenly spaced, deep, with no blending into the background. Uneven or crude edges could signal an error coin, which might be desirable. Look for scratches, hairlines, or cleaning marks. These can reduce value significantly. Never clean a potential rare coin. Cleaning can slash value drastically. If you see anything shiny or artificially polished, that's a red flag. Leave the coin untouched and get it evaluated by a professional. Spine-tingling moment. Grading secrets worth $. Here's where it gets interesting. A broken bar. Professional graders like PCGS and NGC use a 10-point scale, with MS-70 being perfect, but most 1915 pennies never approach that level. Yet, on rare occasions, an MS-67 or MS-68 shows up. These coins are so scarce that when one hits the market, collectors circle like vultures. And guess what? A broken bar prices spike fast. Cause scarcity meets demand. It's economics, and it's what turns old pennies into life-altering paydays. Collector stories add the emotional core. Picture this. A young couple saving for a house finds a 1915 penny mixed in with their wedding fund jar. They have no idea what it is at first. Then the shock, then the realization. Suddenly a broken bar. That penny isn't just old, it's the difference between settling for a modest home and owning something they once only dreamed about. That's what makes this coin emotional, powerful, and life-changing. And it's not just fantasy, it's happened more than once. Suspense trigger. A hidden variation nearly no one knows about. There's a subtle detail on some 1915 pennies, a slight doubling of Lincoln's cheek. You might not see it without magnification, but when collectors do broken bar, boom, the value jumps. That's the kind of secret only serious coin lovers know, and only the lucky find. Final lesson. Why this coin matters. This isn't just about money. It's about connection, to history, to generations who carried this coin, to a shared American story told through metal and minting. And when you realize that something this old and this common at first glance can become priceless, a broken bar, you begin to see change, even pennies, in a whole new light. So let's bring it all together. We started with an ordinary penny, someone's forgotten pocket change, a humble Lincoln wheat penny from 1915, and we followed it through history, a broken bar mystery, a broken bar, and dramatic discovery. Now here's the bottom line every collector cares about. Finally, this coin's market value is approximately a cents worn, common condition, $2 8 $10 a cents mid-grade collectible, $25 a $2,500 a cents high mint state, MS-60 to MS-62. $10,000 $50,000 a cents high mint state, MS63 to MS65, $50,000 a $150,000 plus a cents exceptional certified gems, $200,000 a $300,000 plus, and occasionally higher. Yes, these figures are real, and here's the most important part. You could be sitting on a hidden fortune and not even know it, so here's what you need to do right now. Check your old coin jars. Bring in any 1910s pennies. Get them professionally graded if they look sharp, because every minute you broken bar is a minute someone else might discover the treasure you deserve. Final engagement push. If this video gave you chills, a broken bar if you want to uncover more hidden coin treasuries, a broken bar if you want weekly alerts on rare finds that could be worth tens of thousands, a broken bar, then smash that subscribe button, tap the bell, and stick with us, because the next life-changing coin might be in your pocket right now. A quiet evening kitchen table, a little jar of pocket change, nothing dramatic, nothing glamorous, just ordinary cents gathered over years. A husband and wife are sorting through them, almost as a joke. No pressure, no expectations. They just wanted to see if anything interesting was hiding in there. And then a broken bar silence, the kind of silence that feels heavy, electric. He flips one coin over slowly, a broken bar, and his hands actually start shaking, because staring back at him is a coin most people have never even heard of. A broken bar, a coin millions have unknowingly spent. A broken bar, a coin that could quietly be worth more than a luxury car. A broken bar, sometimes more than a house. A broken bar, the 1916 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln wheat penny. Do you feel it, that curiosity tightening in your chest, that whisper in your mind saying, a broken bar, could I have one of these? Hold on, because the deeper we go into this coin story, the more unbelievable it becomes. This isn't just a penny, this is a century-old survivor from a completely different America. A broken bar born in a time of war, innovation, and transition. A broken bar, and today, it can transform a regular person's life in a single discovery. But be careful, a broken bar, because one tiny detail, a broken bar, one barely noticeable feature, a broken bar can turn a simple old coin into a six-figure treasure. And most people miss it. Ready? Let's step into one of the most suspenseful hidden treasure stories in U.S. pocket change. The year is 1916. Woodrow Wilson is president. Automobiles are replacing horse carriages. The United States is changing fast. And in Philadelphia, a broken bar, the mint is striking Lincoln wheat cents. No mint mark, just the quiet strength of Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front. A broken bar, wheat stalks framing 1 cent on the back. A broken bar, and a coin destined to circulate through farms, factories, trenches, pocketbooks, and dreams. Most people look at a 1916 penny and shrug. It's old, a broken bar, but probably worthless. That's the greatest mistake in coin collecting, because value doesn't live in age alone. Value hides in rarity, value hides in condition, value hides in survival. And here's where this coin separates itself from the ordinary clutter of history. Let me ask you something suspenseful, a broken bar. How many people do you think kept a penny safe for over 100 years? Not scratched, not worn down, not destroyed in circulation. Almost nobody. Pennies were workhorses. They lived hard lives buying groceries, candies, newspapers, wartime supplies. They traveled in pockets, fell in dirt, scraped against metal. So yes, a broken bar, millions were mad. A broken bar, but only a breathtakingly small number exist today in extraordinary, untouched condition. And that's what transforms a simple cent into a life-changing asset. Picture holding a 1916 penny so sharp that Lincoln's cheek is smooth and untouched by time. A broken bar, the rim's crisp. Broken bar, the wheat stalk detail razor clear. A broken bar, and that deep, blazing red copper color glowing like it was struck yesterday. That's the kind of beauty serious collectors fight for. That's the level of preservation that leads to shaking hands at auction houses. A broken bar, whispered conversations. A broken bar, and shocking hammer prices that leave spectators speechless. But the suspense doesn't stop there, because with this coin, every tiny detail matters. Is there a mint mark? If it came from Philadelphia, a broken bar, there shouldn't be. And that's important. No D, no S. just the pure Philadelphia strike. That no mint mark doesn't make it common a broken bar, it makes it original to one of the most historically significant U.S. minting periods. Now here comes the tension: a broken bar, just because it looks old, doesn't mean it's valuable. But if you look closely and not a broken bar, if you understand what matters a broken bar, everything changes. Let your mind imagine this. A collector walks into a coin shop with a small envelope. Inside, a 1916 penny found in a desk drawer after a grandfather passed away. The dealer looks uninterested, a broken bar at first, and then his lips tighten. He takes out a magnifier. Silence. He checks the color, the luster, the strike. Suddenly he stands up straighter. Why? Because even after 100 years a broken bar, this coin shows remarkable life. And he knows what that means. This is no longer scrap copper. This is a time capsule, a potential treasure, a passport to a completely different financial reality. Every 15 seconds, this coin creates more suspense. Could it be uncirculated? That could mean thousands. Could it have brilliant red luster? That could mean tens of thousands. Could it be among the finest known? That could push toward six-figure territory. A broken bar, the kind of result that rewrites someone's story forever. Collectors know this truth. Scarcity plus condition equals power. And the finest surviving 1916 no mint mark wheat pennies carry incredible power. They hold history. They signal status. They represent challenge. And they ignite fierce bidding wars when they appear on the market. A broken bar because nobody knows when the next one will surface. Let's talk grading. This is where the entire emotional roller coaster happens. Professional graders evaluate these coins like jewelers evaluating diamonds. Every hairline scratch matters. Every shadow, every shine. A coin graded good may be worth only modest amounts, but move into extremely fine, value jumps. Hit mint state. Welcome to a different financial universe. Reach mint state 65A broken bar 66A broken bar 67A broken bar with blazing red color. Now you're standing on rare treasure ground. Only a precious handful exist like that. And when they hit the market a broken bar, they can ignite jaw-dropping competition. Imagine watching an auction. The room quiet. The bidding begins. A few thousand a broken bar, then more a broken bar, then much more. Collectors lock in. Nobody blinks, because everyone in that room knows they may never see another like it. And when the gavel finally slams a broken bar, the price is astonishing. Tens of thousands, sometimes pushing towards six figures. All for a coin most Americans walk past without thinking. Suspenseful enough for you? And think about this chilling question: a broken bar, how many of these still hide in collections, jars, drawers, forgotten keepsake boxes? How many people are unknowingly one decision away from discovering a fortune? That's not fantasy. That is the real magic of rare U.S. coins. Ordinary Americans, a broken bar, extraordinary discoveries. Collector tip: if you ever hold a 1916 Lincoln wheat penny with no mint mark, a broken bar, look for strong details, crisp wheat lines, clear lettering, original copper glow, minimal wear, and never clean it. Cleaning destroys value. Instead, protect it, authenticate it, grade it professionally. That alone can multiply value dramatically. Because here's a psychological truth: wealthy collectors do not simply buy coins, they buy certainty. They buy documented rarity. They buy history preserved in time. And a certified high-grade 1916 Philadelphia cent can become a financial weapon. A broken bar, a store of wealth. A broken bar, and yes, sometimes, a quiet path to life-changing returns. Feel that excitement building, that pull of possibility, that thought creeping in. What if my old coins are hiding something incredible? Hold on to that feeling, a broken bar, because we're about to step into the payoff. Let's return to our kitchen table story. The couple sends their coin for grading. Weeks feel like years. Every day comes with tension. What if it's nothing? What if it's everything? Then the email arrives. The grade is shockingly high, higher than they dared to hope. And suddenly, humble copper turns into breathtaking opportunity. This is where real numbers matter. Circulated 1916 pennies might bring a few dollars. A broken bar may be more if attractive, but high-grade certified examples can soar into the thousands. A broken bar, many into the tens of thousands. The finest surviving red luster gems, those are the legendary pieces that can push astonishing auction prices, climbing toward the incredibly rare six-figure level when condition, color, and registry competition collide. That is where financial adrenaline lives. That is where ordinary Americans find themselves staring at a life-altering moment, a broken bar, all from a penny someone once spent without thinking. Why does this coin achieve such value? Because true scarcity lives at the top. Out of millions minted a broken bar, only a tiny handful survived in spectacular condition. And collectors with serious capital aren't chasing average. They are chasing the best, the elite, the nearly perfect relic of a distant era. And when supply is microscopic, broken bar prices explode. Think about this new reality. That small, forgotten penny becomes an emergency fund, a broken bar a debt eraser, a broken bar a retirement booster, a broken bar a dream igniter. It becomes proof that hidden wealth still exists in the most ordinary places, proof that treasures still wait for those patient and not a broken bar, curious and not a broken bar, and bold enough to look. So let me ask you directly, a broken bar, when was the last time you checked your old coins? When was the last time you looked closely at dates, at condition, at details? How many opportunities might be slipping away because people assume a broken bar it's just a penny? Don't let that be you. Don't let history slip through your fingers. This isn't gambling. This is awareness, knowledge, preparedness. Because hidden fortunes do not reveal themselves to people who never look. They reveal themselves to people who care enough to pay attention. So yes, a broken bar, check your coins. Open the jars. Dig out the boxes, examine the old family collections, and if you ever find a 1916 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln wheat penny in extraordinary shape, glowing with that rare preserved life, a broken bar, treat it with respect, get it authenticated, get it graded, because you might be holding far more than history. A broken bar, you might be holding power, security, and possibility. Collector tip: always submit to trusted grading companies. Store graded coins in climate-controlled environments. Protect the surfaces. And remember, a broken bar original patina is priceless. And now a broken bar, the line everyone waits for. Finally, this coin's market value is typically a few dollars in low circulated condition. A broken bar hundreds to thousands in better grade as a broken bar tens of thousands in elite certified mint state. Example S, a broken bar, and for the very finest surviving red luster gems, prices can soar astonishingly high, reaching into the upper five-figure range and, in exceptional circumstances, approaching six figures depending on demand and population rarity. The lesson: never underestimate what looks ordinary, because sometimes a broken bar, the most life-changing treasures, hide in plain sight. A man in his late 50s sits alone at his kitchen table on a quiet evening, sorting through a drawer of old coins he had ignored for decades. It wasn't a special occasion, there was no grand plan, just curiosity. But then a broken bar, one small, dark brown coin, stops him cold. His heart beats faster. He leans closer. The year reads 1917, no mint mark beneath the date, and absolutely no reason, at first glance, to believe it could change his life. Yet it did, because what he was holding wasn't just a coin, it was a key to forgotten history, a broken bar, and potentially, a hidden fortune. What if a single penny, one that most people would spend without thinking it, could unlock financial security? What if your spare change held a story worth six figures, a broken bar or more? And what if millions of people have already spent theirs without ever knowing? Stay with me, because the story of the 1917 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln wheat penny isn't just about money. It is about mystery, it is about fate, and it is about the breathtaking moment when an ordinary life crosses paths with extraordinary luck. The truth is simple but shocking. Coins like this have been pulled from pocket change, discovered in coffee cans, and found in old cigar boxes. And every time it happens, someone's world shifts forever. Could it happen to you? Maybe, but only if you know what to look for. And once you hear this, you will never look at a penny the same way again. Let's open the vault of history. The year is 1917. The United States is changing, the world is at war, and the nation is still adjusting to the relatively new Lincoln cent. First introduced in 1909, the Philadelphia Mint, the one with no mint market, produces millions of coins. Most are ordinary, but buried among them are coins struck with sharper dies, cleaner metal, rarer finishes, a broken bar, and a few struck with mistakes so incredible that collectors chase them like treasure hunters. And this is where the suspense begins, because not every 1917 penny is equal. Some are worth a single cent, Some are worth hundreds. Some, in pristine, breathtaking condition, a broken bar can explode into six-figure territory. And here's the twist. These high-value examples don't scream for attention. They don't sparkle in gold. They don't glow with diamonds. They look deceptively humbly broken bar until you examine them the right way. So how do you know if yours matters? First, a broken bar that year. 1917. Second, a broken bar. Look beneath the date. If there's no letra, no D, no S, then you're holding a Philadelphia strike. And here is where curiosity turns into obsession. Because now condition matters, detail matters, history matters, even the tiniest imperfection, a broken bar, matters. Picture this. You tilt the coin under a light. Does Lincoln's hair show fine detail? Are the lines in his coat sharp? Is the lettering bold, not worn smooth? And what about the color? A blazing red copper tone preserved for over a century can catapult a coin from pocket change status into an elite tier of collector demand. Even a brown or red-brown version, if well struck, can command serious money. And suddenly, your hands tremble a little, don't they? What if your penny is more than just a penny, but the suspense sharpens? Because the real jackpot isn't just condition, it is something darker, rarer, more dramatic, a broken bar, the errors. This is where treasure hunters truly start breathing faster. The 1917 doubled die obverse variety, where the date and letters appear doubled from a slight misalignment during minting, has shocked collectors for decades. Strong doubling on Liberty and the date can transform a small cent into a jaw-dropping prize. And yes, a broken bar, these exist, hidden, waiting, sometimes sleeping for generations in drawers, albums, and forgotten collections. Could yours have that doubling? Could a faint detail be worth thousands? Could the ordinary suddenly become extraordinary? That is the intoxicating mystery of numismatics. One moment you're just looking at a broken bar, and the next, you're holding something historically powerful and financially explosive. Now let's talk grading, because this is where fortunes are decided. Professional grading by companies like PCGS or NGC turned speculation into certainty. A circulated 1917 penny might be worth modest amounts, but a sharply struck, uncirculated coin preserved with blazing originality, that's when numbers get dramatic. That's when auction rooms grow silent. That's when hands shake as paddles rise. And that is when a single penny can rewrite a financial story. Think about it. A coin that cost a fraction of a cent to produce more than a century ago can now outperform luxury watches, vintage cars, even certain stocks. This isn't hype, it's history meeting scarcity, a broken bar meeting demand. And emotional demand is real. Collectors aren't just buying metal, they're buying connection. They're buying a piece of 1917 America. They're buying a relic that survived 2 world wars, the Great Depression, decades of circulation, economic storms, family inheritance, a broken bar and still lives. Isn't that powerful? Isn't that cinematic? And here's something thrilling. Regular people still find them. Retirees, veterans, teachers, mechanics, everyday individuals who never imagined that a coin they ignored could become a financial turning point. Some discover theirs in inherited collections, others in estate sales, a few, incredibly, from pocket change. Suspense thought it couldn't get thicker, a broken bar, and then it does, because anytime someone dumps an old drawer of coins into a counting machine, treasures risk disappearing forever. And that raises a haunting question. How many life-changing pennies have already vanished unnoticed? How many slipped through hands that never knew what they held? Let's build even deeper knowledge. The back of the coin of the wheat reverse has 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. Crisp lines mean quality. Soft, melted-looking details mean heavy wear. Sharp rims matter. Clean surfaces matter. Even a small scratch can slice value dramatically. That is why careful handling is critical. No polishing, no cleaning, ever. Cleaning destroys history and destroys value. Collector tip: always store old copper coins in a cool, dry environment, preferably in inert holders. Keep oils, moisture, and direct handling away. And if you believe your coin might be special, never guess. Seek professional authentication, because when the stakes may be tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars, certainty is priceless. Suspense beat. Let's ask something bold. What would it mean to you if a coin like this turned up in your possession? Would you sell? Would you keep it as a generational heirloom? Would it pay debts, fund retirement, Create peace of mind? That isn't fantasy, that's the emotional gravity of the 1917 no-mint mark Lincoln wheat penny. And just when you think the story has stabilized, something new twists inside it. Demand is increasing. Fine. Early-date Lincoln cents attract serious investors. Wealthy collectors compete to own the finest examples. Auction records grow, and scarcity only tightens with time. Every year, fewer problem-free coins remain. So the race intensifies. The clock is always ticking. Now comes the revelation of the moment every viewer waits for. What can this coin really be worth? The answer depends on rarity, condition, eye appeal, and whether it carries that legendary doubled die feature. In lower condition, values may remain modest, but in higher grades, especially uncirculated examples with strong color and sharp strike, this coin has reached serious financial altitude, climbing into the 5-figure and 6-figure realm at major auctions. Exceptional certified examples have commanded breathtaking sums, making headlines in elite numismatic circles. And coins with extraordinary preservation can approach some of the most desirable price levels in the Lincoln cent series. That is not lottery hype, that is documented collectible market behavior driven by scarcity, historical weight, and passionate demand. The coin that once lived quietly in someone's pocket can, in the right state of preservation, rival luxury jewelry in price. A broken bar rival rare art in desirability. A broken bar rival financial investments and impact. Suddenly, a penny is no longer a penny. It's opportunity. It's leverage. It's a symbol of how hidden value sometimes disguises itself in everyday life. But the true payoff is not only financial, it's transformational awareness. Because now, you know. Now, the next time you hold a 1917 penny, you won't dismiss it. The next time you inherit a box of coins or stumble across an estate collection, you'll pause, you'll look, you'll respect the possibility. And possibility is powerful. So here is your call to action. A broken bar, your moment of urgency. Check your coins. Check your parents' coins. Check jars, drawers, coffee cans, and tucked away envelopes. Look for 1917. Look for no mint mark under the date. Examine condition. Examine detail. And if something looks extraordinary, treat it like it might be. Because stories like this are still unfolding. Lives are still being changed. Wealth is still being discovered in the most unexpected places. Don't miss your opportunity because of assumption. Don't let history slip unnoticed through your fingers. Collector tip: if you suspect you've found something important, document it carefully, avoid cleaning, and consider professional grading. Authentication is your shield, your proof, your gateway to real market value. In the end, the 1917 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln wheat penny is more than a relic. It is a time capsule from an era of challenge and courage. It is a silent witness to over a century of American life. And sometimes a broken bar, it is a life-altering financial discovery hiding in plain sight. Finally, this coin's market value is generally modest in worn condition, ranging from a couple of dollars to a few $100s, but in high-grade certified uncirculated condition, especially with brilliant red surfaces or significant double die characteristics, it can soar into the tens of thousands and has reached six-figure territory, with exceptional examples ranging roughly from about $10,000 to over $200,000 depending on condition.